So this is my very first video review, and the reason is that because this is kind of my response on the criticism and comments that are happening on Suicide Squad. Suicide Squad hasn't been the most popular movie with critics and a few audiences alike. What I'm here to talk about is why Suicide Squad is good. Yeah, it is a good movie. There are a few problems with this movie, but when I look at other movies who receive positive reviews, are actually pretty much the same as what Suicide Squad is. Before I go into this, I would like to warn, I'm gonna go with spoilers, giving out a spoiler warning ahead. One of my biggest problems with this movie is probably the villain, and that is Enchantress. Enchantress doesn't have any motivation. The only motivation that she has is when she says to his brother that they now worship machines instead of us. That is the 101 cliched villain that we've seen since every single superhero that we've got. I'm evil, I want to destroy the world. That is not a good motivation if you're creating a villain. I expected Enchantress to have a lot of potential because you have one side, Amanda Waller, who is torturing Enchantress, and I think it would have been a much better way for Enchantress to have a revenge plot against Amanda Waller, and Amanda Waller to use the Suicide Squad to save Amanda Waller. I think that would have been a much effective plot. I think that would have broadened a lot of teams. Think about it. You have one side Enchantress, who was used by Amanda Waller, who's going against Amanda Waller, and you have Amanda Waller using the Suicide Squad just as she used Enchantress to try to save him. That would have made more sense when Enchantress said in the end, "Why are you helping those who have captured you or chained you?" That would have made more sense instead of doing this, wiggly thing. Other than that, I think Killer Croc was nothing. If your movie is about villains who are misunderstood, who are rejected by society, what better way to do than Killer Croc, who was literally a monster? And Amanda Waller in the beginning said they treated him like a monster, so he became like a monster. That's a great line on the themes of this movie. But it's really just not dealt on. Alright, next to the positives, which I like to go. Now the Joker. Now, when I heard about the Joker was going to be in Suicide Squad and was going to be played by Jared Leto, I was also excited, but also afraid of what might happen. This Joker is not like Jesse Eisenberg's Lex Luthor, but it's also not Heath Ledger's Joker. He's kind of in between for me, and I don't know much about him. I don't know much about this character, but what I will also say that this character surprised me. This gives something, a new outlook on what the Joker is. At the same time, more psychotic. At the same time, I also see a more human side of the Joker. And this is because of his relationship with Harley Quinn. People have been saying, why is the Joker here? Joker has no reason of being in this movie. I'd say they're wrong, because this movie is has more focus on Harley Quinn. You cannot have Harley Quinn without the Joker when it comes to her origins. And her relationship with the Joker is what defines Harley Quinn in this aspect. The scene where Harley Quinn jumps off to the chemicals and Joker about to leave her to die, and then right at the last second does this really thing and goes back and gets Harley, surprised me, because I did not expect that. I expect Joker to be this ruthless psychopath, and yet again, it's about this movie's themes on these characters, and I see a more humanized, a more three-dimensional side to the Joker. Deadshot. First off, people are always gonna say that Deadshot was the best part of this movie, but I think the best part of him are two scenes. The first scene of the movie, of Deadshot, who's about to shoot Batman, but his daughter tells him, no, don't do it, daddy, don't shoot him, stop. And Deadshot, for her daughter's sake, turns himself in. And the second scene, Clark throws the bomb and Deadshot is about to shoot it, but then Enchantress plays with his mind by saying, "Daddy, don't do it. If you shoot it, we won't be together." Now, that is a very powerful scene because it defines Deadshot's character, who is this conflicted character. At that moment, when he accepts his true self against his daughter, shoots that bomb, it defines Deadshot. Diablo, my god, I did not expect Diablo to be this more special character. I thought Deadshot and Harley Quinn would steal the show, but at the last second, at the last moment, Diablo took it. Diablo in the bar scene, and when he explains the tragic death and how he killed his wife and his children, was so tragic, and at the same time it kind of gave me shock value. I questioned myself on whether or not I should be for these characters or be against it. That bar scene reminded me why I'm against villains, why I should not support these people, but at the same time why I should root for them. It kind of gives this whole dilemma within the audience and also within the dilemma with the characters. I think Katana was fine. It didn't really bother me that Katana wasn't really in it. That one scene where Katana looks at his husband, talks to his husband with that sword, gives me enough of what Katana is. I think that them dealing with more on Deadshot and Harley Quinn and Diablo was much enough for me to give this movie a fresh score, or I don't know, a good score. Harley Quinn, and oh my god, also surprised me. And not just the looks, not just the way she talks, but her relationship with the Joker and how she loves him. This is not the abusive love that we saw in the Mad Love comics. This is a new type of relationship that is established between Harley Quinn and the Joker. Harley Quinn loves Joker, and Joker kind of loves, he kind of loves, he risked his ass trying to saving her. The defining moment of her character is when she asks Deadshot if he ever fallen in love. Deadshot says that he hasn't, because if you kill enough people and sleep like a baby and you don't waste your time with things like love. Harley Quinn sarcastically and ironically says to Deadshot, another textbook sociopath. That scene is what defines Harley Quinn. It defines the themes of this movie, of misunderstood villains, misunderstood people that are rejected by society are actually more three-dimensional and actually are no different than us. That is what defines this movie, and this is what it delves on with these characters, with Harley Quinn, with Deadshot, with Diablo. For Harley Quinn, the other defining moment for me was the scene of the dream scene. What made that scene so special was when Harley Quinn presses the normal button and imagines herself in a normal life with Jared Leto, a normal looking Jared Leto with 2 children. That is so special, and it really gives you a three-dimensional outlook on what Harley Quinn is all about. She's not a Mr. J or Puddin'. She's more than that. And that scene of her wanting to be normal is in relationship of what this movie is about, on what these characters want and what these characters want in life but will never have. To be normal and yet not able to, because you are who you are. That is actually a very tragic thing. I think this is actually a really, really great movie. When I watched this movie and when I got out, I was not just entertained, I got this movie. And I really, really got what this movie was trying to deal with its themes. People are saying villain wasn't well motivated enough. I certainly say that the villain, Ultron from Avengers Age of Ultron, and that bluish kind of villain from Guardians of the Galaxy was not also well motivated, but that's not why this movie is about. This movie is about the characters within this movie And the dynamics between them and arcs between these characters is what makes this movie this movie. I know Suicide Squad has its problems. It has its problems with the story. It has its problems especially with the whole cliche villain plot. But this movie is not about that. This movie is structured based solely on the characters as other movies like Guardians of the Galaxy, like Deadpool, and Avengers Age of Ultron. Guys, I think Suicide Squad deserves more than what it is. Yes, it has its problems. Yes, its story is problematic. But as I said, this movie is about the characters and the dynamics between those characters. Guys, please watch Suicide Squad. Guys, if you have any other movies that you want me to review, please write it on the comment section below. Text me, email me, send me a message from Facebook, whatever it needs.